Hello, aloha, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to our Magic Monday patching podcast featuring X39. It's revolutionary technology that is taking the world by storm and transforming people's lives all over the globe. So my name is Kathaleen Nichols. I am a senior presidential director here with LifeWave, and I have the lovely Bryan Penrod here as my host this evening. How are you, Bryan?
I'm doing great, and you're always lovely and in such a great mood. I love it.
You know, I do live on Maui. I mean, with life's always better on Maui, and wearing the patches, right? Let's put those two combinations together. So
Absolutely.
excellent. So great. Well, I just want to welcome everybody here. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you're hearing this technology for the first time, just really give that person that invited you a very warm, grateful thank you, because that really just tells me that they care about you, they care about your health, and they've really invited you here with such great intention to help you on your healing journey, to transform your life on whatever's going on. And typically, it's whatever's going on plus. You start having results with things that you aren't even aware of, right? So just give a big gratitude to the person that invited you here. And for this 30 minutes that we're going to be together, we're going to have two different lovely women tell their results, just real people telling real stories. And then, of course, my amazing co-host, Bryan, is going to tell you how the technology works. And then he's going to send it back to me. I'll give you a little history of the company, and then we'll say good evening. So with that, I am going to start with our medical disclaimer, okay? So here at LifeWave, we don't treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any dis-ease. This call is strictly educational and people sharing their testimonials. So if you are, if you're pregnant or you're nursing or you're on any medication, just consult your primary physician before moving forward. However, rest assured that there is no danger in cross-culturing, because as you'll learn in a little bit, this is nothing going into your body, right? It's non-invasive and non-transdermal. But just to be on the safe side, check with your primary physician. So that's our medical disclaimer. So I just want to kind of give you a little idea who David Schmidt is. So he is our inventor, our owner, and our CEO. And LifeWave's been around 20 years. You're going to hear a little bit more about that later. It'll be 20 years next month. And so really at about the 10-year mark, he was really, trying to figure out and presented with the problem, why do we age? Why are we declining? What's going on in our body? And that really prompted him to go into the laboratory. And for 10 years, he did research and development several different ways, but the one that he finally settled on, which really got us the results that bring us all together here, was a phenomenon called photobiomodulation. And really what that means is just light making change in your body, right? So what he discovered how to activate our dormant master regenerative cells that are in our body. And he discovered that through some elevation. So of different things in your body. So that's what he figured out. He took him, 10 years, millions of dollars of research, and it was culminated in the patch X39, which is what we're talking about here tonight. So just a little background to set the stage. And with that, I'm going to invite Holly to, okay, you're already unmuted. Excellent. Welcome, Holly. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone. I'm Holly Cheplack, and I'm 59 years young, and I am aging backwards. Yes. So, yes. But it hasn't been that way always. This is new for me. So, little backstory. For the last 10 years of my life, my health was declining. I have autoimmune disease, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and my entire body was just ridden with pain. All my joints were swollen. My hand, I had a huge lump right here. I had acupuncture and all other things you can imagine trying to heal this hand. My knees are bone on bone. My hips were going out. I had a hip replacement 5 years ago. And over the course of these years, I was immobile. I was barely getting around. I had gained 40 pounds and my quality of life was just declining. And my husband kept saying, babe, you're young. You've got all these little grandchildren. They want to play with you. And I was just, kind of sitting back, being a bystander of my life. And I went to Mexico and I spent $10,000 to get stem cell replacement done in my knees, hoping and praying that that would give me some relief. It helped a little bit. It cost a lot of money, but it didn't do the job. A few years back, my right hip started going, and that was my good hip. And I was getting the injections, the cortisone injections, and just really not living my best life. And I was about to head into the jungle, and I was going to a retreat. I'm a retreat facilitator, and I was really worried how I was going to do in the jungle, having to get on the ground and being all uneasy on my feet, because I'm always very careful of how I walk around. And I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, Tracy, and she told me about these patches. And this was last November. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll buy some. I always like to support my friends. So I ordered the gold kit, and I really didn't know what I had ordered. I didn't know I was sitting on a gold mine, and I did nothing with the patches. And months went by and I kept bringing them. We have 2 different residences. I kept bringing them with me from home to home, thinking one day I'm going to wear these patches. And a couple of weeks before we were leaving for the jungle, I was on the phone with Tracy. She was joining me there, and I was crying, and I was telling her, girl, I'm so in such bad shape. Like, oh my God, my hip was just throbbing. I was crying at night. I was like icing and heat and living on ibuprofen, and I was just miserable. And she said, girl, when are you going to use these patches that you bought for me? I promise you they're going to change your life. So that's my disclaimer. If you have the patches and haven't started using them yet, get them out. They will change your life. So I got out the Aeon and the X39. I started wearing them for the 2 weeks prior to leaving. And then the Ice Wave. I put the Ice Wave on my hip, and I was blown away how fast the pain was subsiding. We got to the jungle. I did really well. I was shocked. All the women at the retreat that have knew me, had gone to other retreats of mine, they were all like, what's going on with you? You're doing so well. Tracy shared with all of them about the patches. All of them bought patches. And here we are, fast forward. I'm on month 8. I am a new human. I have lost 34 pounds as of this morning. I'm running around wearing gym clothes, like up and down off the floor. I used to have my husband pull me up, and now I'm like, oh no, I got this. And the inflammation in my body is like non-existent. All my joints are feeling great. The swelling is gone. The knees are not scraping. I am telling you, I am a walking billboard of what these patches are doing for people. I have a new quality on life, and I am so grateful. Oh, I get choked up talking about it because my life has completely changed. And so I just wanted to get on here and share that it's possible, and you don't have to live in chronic pain, and you too can heal your life from the inside out.
Absolutely, Holly. So I know there's a couple other things I want to touch on. Wow, you almost had me in tears. It's just, so you're literally telling me that for 10 years, you couldn't get up off the floor. You couldn't go up and down stairs. Your husband literally had to help you up off the couch or up off the floor. There was no playing with the grandkids, constant pain for 10 years. Quality of life was, pretty low.
Yes, that is true.
And now I heard you say you're just running all over the place, up and down stairs, jumping around, doing this, going to the jungle.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow, that's
Yes.
huge.
I'm riding my e-bike. I'm like doing all kinds of stuff I haven't done in many, many years.
Right. So riding e-bike, playing with kids. Are you doing hiking?
Yep. Hiking
Yep.
around, taking the stairs, no more elevators if possible,
Wow. Wow.
and just really a new lease on life. So I'm forever grateful.
Yeah, that's amazing. And no pain. You've been in it for 10 years. It's amazing.
Yep.
And so also there was something about your toe.
Yeah. So I was on a call 2 weeks ago and Tracy was talking about her bunion. She was like, I had bunion surgery. It was the worst thing ever. And she goes, and I wasn't paying attention, but all of a sudden one day my bunion was gone. And I was like, wait a minute. I took my shoe off and I was like, so is mine. I had a bunion on my left big toe and I couldn't even bend my toe down. It hurt so bad. My toe's moving, the little lump's not there anymore. I was like, okay, this is crazy. And then can I share about my scars?
Absolutely.
Okay. So also, because you don't really pay attention to everything when you have so many issues. I'm on last week, I'm listening to their call and they're showing the screens of these people's like scars that are like completely healed and almost non-existent. And I was like, wait a minute. I got off the call. I ran in the bathroom, looked at my back of my leg where my hip replacement was, and the scar was like a pencil line. It used to be red and ugly. And I had skin cancer. I have a huge scar here that's been pink for 12 years. It's not anymore. It's skin colored. And then I had a big scar here on my hand that I hit glass when I was 23. It's always bugged me. And the other day I was like, wait a minute. I showed my daughter. She's like, where's your scar? These stem cells, they're repairing my skin and healing my scars, guys. So
you had that scar for 30 years.
Since
30 plus
23 years old. Yep. It's amazing. So there we go.
Yes, there we have it, folks.
There
New
you have
human. Holly is a new human. And I mean, and that is kind of what happens, Holly. It's, you have all these things that are, symptoms are being relieved, repairing, regenerating. And then you have all these things that you aren't even noticing that are happening also. So you've got two of those things that were prompted by other people sharing that you realize, oh my gosh, a bunion, you couldn't even bend your toe, and then all these scars.
Yep. It's
so
phenomenal. Thank
wow,
you.
I'm so happy the patches found you. Yeah, what an amazing story. Absolutely change the quality of your life, which is really, David's mission, right? Have people feel younger, look better, lead more joyful lives. So that was definitely the case with Holly and her transformation. Thank you so much for joining us, Holly.
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Which patches was she on?
Go ahead,
D.
Holly. Yeah.
D, all of the above.
Right. So D, all of the above. But Nancy,
I use them all.
Right. But originally it was X39 Aeon. And then of course she added the Ice Wave for the pain. That was her base use.
Yep. But I use glutathione, Alavita, Silent Nights, Carnosine, X39, Energy Enhancer, you name it, it's on me. I'm a walking billboard for LifeWave.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much, Holly. Okay, Brian, back to you.
Holly, I could so relate with what you said about watching life go by. And this has this technology has such an amazing effect to be able to open life for people in ways that they thought was over. Mm-hmm. And so tonight you're going to hear another story. And I feel so blessed to be able to introduce this woman. Her name is Sherry Needham. And Sherry's actually been a mentor to me in just amazing ways. Her and her husband had served as pastors of their local community, and they have such a generous heart that they have people like that, or just internationally, just through their relationships. And I just love you, and I'm so excited to hear about how you found out about this technology, these patches. How did you find out about this, and what happened?
Thank you, Brian. It is so good to be here, and thank you so much for honoring me. We're very blessed that I have known Brian for so many years and been grateful to have him in our lives and learned so much from you, Brian. It's really good. I'm so thankful. So for LifeWave, I was at the time I was 68, and I kept thinking, well, I'm finally beginning to notice that I'm aging. And I was very careful not to say that I was aging or to complain about getting old, because I had friends that were saying that. I thought, man, I'm not going to say that. But lo and behold, I was beginning to notice that I was just not able to do everything I wanted to do, and not in the way that I wanted to do it. So I used to walk quite a bit on our farm, and it had gotten to the point where my right knee, which it had swelling and pain and reduced, limited range of motion in it. And so not only was I having trouble walking, but just trying to even go on my driveway back and forth, it was just so painful. So I could no longer run, which, you don't always have to run, but when you're chasing cows, you have to run. Either to get them or to run away from them. The other thing was, as a grandma, I couldn't play with my grandkids anymore. That right knee was really causing a lot of trouble for me. And also, I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but my right knee would collapse. And I would never know when it was going to happen. So when I was walking up the stairs, all of a sudden, boom, it would go out from underneath me. And thank goodness there was a rail for me to grab onto. But it was really frustrating for me. And I just thought, wow, there's so much that I want to accomplish for the rest of my life. Because I was already planning to live to 80 or 90. No, that was what I was looking at least that. Now I'm looking a little further, I think. But I really did want to have a change, but I didn't know where to look for it, because I was already doing well with the nutrition that I consumed and how we ate and things like that. But I needed something different. So a friend called me up and told me, really didn't even tell me anything about LifeWave. And this is so funny, you guys, because it was about 10 or 10:30 at night. I had flown to California to babysit my grandson so that my daughter-in-law could go and have her baby. And so I'm on a mountain. I don't even know how to get off the mountain if I have an emergency. I have a pickup truck to drive that I'm not sure if I can drive it, because it's an old stick and it was like not always working right. So I get this call, and you know what? There was something inside of me that said, this is it. Sometimes you get those things that happen and you cannot explain it. And that's what happened to me. Somehow I knew this was it. And I said, sign me up. And they said, well, you don't know anything about it. And I said, I know, sign me up. Thinking it's going to be like $5,000 or $10,000. I was really glad it wasn't that much. So I signed up. I didn't even tell my husband. No, my husband is absolutely amazing. And when we make big decisions, we talk about it together, right? Well, I didn't even tell him. Later on, I think I sent him a text that night, and I said, honey, I just spent a lot of money.
You'd also spoken about how your vision had improved also. And
Right.
Amazing.
Well, so I want to kind of give you the rundown, because I wanted to really track my responses. So I started December 15th, 2022. I was 68, and I started with X39. Well, what I wanted to fix was my right knee, but nothing was happening with my right knee. But 3 weeks later, I'm driving through downtown Kansas City, Missouri, and I can look straight into the oncoming lights. My night vision had been so bad that when I would drive at night, I'd be like this, and you wouldn't, I tried to keep my eyes open wide enough that I could see what was happening, but I had no pain at all. And I thought, that's weird. How come I can look at those lights and I'm not in pain? I don't have to squint my eyes. I wasn't even making the correlation between that and X39, and that's only 3 weeks. Still no improvement with my knee, and I really wanted that change. So on January the 15th of 2023, I started Aeon. And boy, I'll tell you, that duo of X39 and Aeon. So I kept thinking, man, come on, my knee's got to get better. My knee's got to get better so that I can go up and down the stairs, all those things. Well, I didn't realize that my knee was getting better, but I was on the phone in the public parking lot with somebody, and I was telling him, I'm really hoping that my knee's going to get better. Well, I squatted down. I'm in a public parking lot, you guys. I squatted down and I went all the way to the ground. I had not been able to squat and get my bottom close to the ground for 15 years. 15 years. So what did I find out? Well, my right knee, it was straight. I didn't have any pain. I had full range of motion. I still didn't know yet whether it would collapse from underneath me. So when I got home that day after squatting in the public parking lot, I ran up and down the stairs. My knee, it didn't hurt. It did not collapse from underneath me. And I just couldn't believe it. Like I could run up and down the stairs. So then later on, when I was back with grandkids again, you guys, I can run after my grandkids. This has completely changed my life. And honestly, Holly, your story is like so powerful. And I didn't have as much to overcome as you, but when there are things that you can't do anymore, it feels like there's a part of your life that has ended. And I want to give you some more documentation. So what I decided to do is I want to know with Aeon, X39 and Aeon, I want to know what are the changes, right? So I specifically tracked it. And I asked other people to observe because I wanted that third party, I wanted people to look at it and say, what are they seeing? So I asked my beautician, I said, would you just look at my hair and tell me if anything is changing? Well, so after 3 months of X39 and Aeon, she told me, she said, Sherry, your hair is definitely thicker. You're getting more hair. So now today, after a year and a half of being on the patches, I didn't even ask her. And after doing my hair, she said, Sherry, your hair is definitely thicker. And it was like, so excited. So then I was asking my dental hygienist because they track everything. And I do have some gum pockets, you know, the kind that are deeper. Well, those have reduced. You guys, I'm tracking this. I'm tracking this because it's somebody else recording it and writing it down. To me, that was really important. The other thing was I wanted to know about my eye. So my night vision, I can still drive at night and look straight into the oncoming lights, which for me is huge. But guess what? I went to the eye doctor and it would have been February of 2024. So that means I would have been on Aeon and X39 for 1 year. And get this, you know how they measure the pressure in your eyes to find out if you're susceptible to glaucoma? Both of my eyes, the pressure is reduced by 2 points. Both eyes. I mean, you guys, this is documented by other people. This is nothing to do with what I'm noticing. Now, what I am noticing is the same thing that Holly shared. My scars are disappearing. It's like, you know, I've got one of those smile surgeries, you know, it's from all the way from the left hip all the way to the right hip. That scar, and now you guys, some scars are in places that you just really can't take pictures of. So you're just going to have to take my word for some of this, okay? That scar used to be red, and it's now skin color. My belly button had a purple scar, a little circle. It was so pretty. It was like artwork. It had a purple scar all the way around it. That is almost totally skin color. It's almost totally skin color. I have other scars, and they're just fading. And sometimes I'm having a hard time even finding them. So I think the big deal is I've got my life back. I mean, who knew that 70 could be so young? I'm just so excited, and I love sharing with people because it's the real deal. Like I watched it happen.
Life has opened up for you. It's just what happens on this technology. I'm so excited for what's been happening with you, and you've been on the product now for such some time. And so if I heard you correctly, you had the knee issue. That was, you know, X39 and Aeon. And were you using Ice Wave at any point in time?
No, I didn't use any Ice Wave.
Okay. And you've had the drastic pain reduction, 3 weeks?
The pain was gone.
Okay.
The pain was gone. I mean,
Vision,
so
more
wild.
hair, scars, and who knows what else, because this technology, I'm going to share a little bit about it. It's in the form of a patch. Can you see that? It's like the old, little bit smaller, I guess, than the old silver dollar. And it has an adhesive on the other side. Inside of this patch, I'm going to take the backing off, is a circular pattern. And what that is it's a crystal lattice. This technology that David Schmidt came out with has been out for over about 20 years now. And this technology we're talking about tonight, this X39, is what is referred to as the master cells of the human body. It's able to affect that. So how does this technology work? How many of you have been out in the sun? And you notice that you have increased in energy. We know, and we've heard, especially recently since the 2020, that it raises vitamin D and all of the healthy, good things and hormone balance. Well, also light is known for in plants to perform a function called photosynthesis. Well, it just so turns out that our bodies are also made of light, and that's specific light that I'm going to speak about tonight. You can place this patch, by the way, anywhere on your body, anywhere, and it will work systemically. And this infrared light that comes out from our skin is reflected from this crystalline lattice back into the skin in a different wavelength that basically activates a copper peptide that goes back. Now, how many of you remember when you're a little kid, if you were to fall out of a tree or get a bump or a scrape, you would bounce back up and it'd be gone within a day or two and you're back to normal, right? And we would our bodies were innately designed to be able to heal themselves. This technology is not a technology that, like we said in this specifically in the disclaimer, this technology doesn't heal. It just gives our body what we needed to be able to heal ourselves. And so the master cell technology that we represent with LifeWave is just a small part of the technology. Yes, we have products, but we are known as a technology company. And with, Kathaleen talked about the first 20 years, what's coming the next 20 years is going to be mind-blowing. So Kathaleen, I'm going to give this back to you.
Wow, Brian. I mean, we heard amazing results using this revolutionary cutting-edge technology with Sherry and Holly. Absolutely life transformation. And as you know, Brian, that is David's mission. I mentioned it earlier.